Alright, well, gotta admit, a Nintendo Direct was one of the last places that I thought I'd see a Bloodborne spiritual successor, but here we are. It looks like Sony wouldn't give us Bloodborne 2, so Nintendo said, fine, we'll make it ourselves. We just got a lot of new info on Nintendo's latest console, along with one game exclusive to the Switch 2 that I'm very interested in. The Duskbloods, FromSoftware's latest exclusive, directed by Hideo Miyazaki, set to release in 2026. We just got the game's first trailer, and I wanted to share my thoughts as a Souls fan. Now, to be fair, I don't think that this is really a Bloodborne successor. It certainly seems to be heavily influenced by it, though. I mean, from the architecture, certain areas' art styles, to even the fact that blood is in the name. But as we go through the trailer, it's pretty clear to see that the Duskbloods is going to be its own thing. And like Elden Ring and Shadow of the Erdtree before it, it seems to have influences of Sekiro, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring, which itself is an evolution of Dark Souls. It also seems to be more multiplayer-centric, which makes it fall more in line with FromSoftware's next title, Night Rain. However, it looks like Duskbloods is going to be a PvPvE style of game. Alright, with those initial thoughts out of the way, let's take a detailed look at this new trailer. From the moment it starts, we see a Victorian setting with a man sitting in a chair. Beams of light are shining in from the glow of the moonlight through the window. This instantly gave me Old Hunter vibes. We see a hand reaching up and the voice of a fair maiden.
I give you my blood. I give you my life.
This is somewhat reminiscent of Bloodborne, where the doll channels blood echoes into our strength. The maiden then states,
Turn, O wheel, and transport him to a night of moonlight, to humanity's very dusk.
We have a mentioning of turning the wheel, implying that we are either going back in time or to an entirely different time in reality altogether. Turning the wheel back to the dusk, or late evening of humanity, would imply that we are currently at a time where humanity has possibly been erased. The last line of dialogue that I found interesting is that she specifically mentions Night of Moonlight. Now, if we are sticking with our Bloodborne influence, the moon plays a significant role and represents a Great One. Now, am I saying that the Duskbloods will have similar eldritch ties to Great Ones like Bloodborne? That would be dope, but probably not. While we do get a new symbol, a wheel branded onto our hand, it is different from the Hunter's Mark, and I'm not expecting this game to have any Bloodborne ties other than some gameplay influences and architectural design. After the From Software logo is shown, confirming your suspicions, the music starts to pick up, and we have something that looks like it could have come straight out of a Bloodborne 2 trailer, even featuring the iconic church bell chime. However, the keen-eyed will certainly see plenty of differences, and at this point into the trailer, I was honestly hoping that this would not be the spiritual successor or a Bloodborne 2. We've seen these same steeples in Elden Ring, and crucially, we see a massive clock tower akin to Big Ben in London. However, its design is quite a bit different from the iconic Astral Clock Tower in Yharnam. From here, we switch to what looks to be a steampunk setting, before showing the massive interior of a cathedral, with what appears to be someone holding up an object while others pay reverence. Above the stained glass is a broken window that could be depicting a blood moon. And holy shit, is that a Hunter's Mark? Probably just happened to be cracked that way, right? It's just a coincidence. From here, we switch back to who appeared to be sitting down in the chair at the beginning of the trailer. We get a beautiful landscape that looks quite reminiscent to some of the areas we've seen before in Elden Ring. We can also see... Hold on, is that a kitted out Luger on our back? Extended mag with a buttstock? Hopefully the ATF isn't watching this. Better have that paperwork in check. Next, we see a vibrant sky that looks straight from the capital city of Lendell, before transitioning to a snowy biome where we get the confirmation that katanas will be present, baby. From here, we see what looks to be influences from Sekiro, as well as what looks to be an Oni assuming a particular stance. Next, we see a new location that looks similar to the Abyssal Woods as the Iron Giant Jetpack Edition walks in and flies across some different landscapes. We cut to a girl who we'll see in the next scene is floating in the air, and she's holding some kind of a ball. We can also see what looks to be jagged thorns tearing through the sky. Perhaps they have something to do with this hideous monstrosity. And whatever it is, I'm looking forward to dueling off with this Majora's Mask flying looking thing. Next we have another interior cathedral. The character standing appears to have golden skin, and some kind of blight or malice corrupting him. Potentially some dual-wield unique melee weapons on his hips, and he also appears to have some kind of firearm on his back. The stained glass window doesn't share any obvious similarities to the one before. However, each of the three seem to be depicting a man looking up. The next scene is something that looks right out of Rainfall, launching up into the air as we transition into gameplay footage of what appears to be some kind of vampire mechanic, maybe as a way to absorb your enemy's life force or some type of currency. We then see a shot of an ominous gate opening, which I know has to be some kind of a lift. And it's here that I'm reminded that this is a Switch 2 exclusive. Now I know it's new hardware, but look at all of the aliasing on those gate bars. I really hope that this thing is multi-plat shortly after launch. From here, we see what looks to be canals or some kind of town sewer system. I really hope that there isn't a prince inside of that thing. On a serious note though, 1, that smile is super creepy. And 2, I don't know if it's just me, but the design of this thing seems influenced by the basilisks in the Dark Souls games. Next, we see an icy cavern before cutting to the first sign of multiplayer co-op. My guess is they're approaching what definitely looks to be a boss. We then have more dialogue from what sounds to be the same woman as in the intro, and it appears as if she's saying, "Close your eyes and contemplate now or not the moon, as befits the soon to depart."
Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon to depart.
We then cut to a forest engulfed in flames, as another voice states,
"I pray that you are able, carrier of blood."
This is a common theme in FromSoft games. You are either an accursed undead, a tarnished, or in this case, a carrier of blood, or a bloodsworn. Next, we see the character riding a mount in what appears to be a more modern and clean rendition of the streets of Yharnam. Transforming into dragons has always been a thing since Dark Souls 1, but into a T-Rex? This one is new. Next, we see another area that is likely the same as a previous shot in the trailer, before skipping to an entirely unique steampunk train station where we see what appears to be a chakram, hopefully a new weapon type. We are then shown some dope AoE magic, before an ominous voice states,
"The moon tears will flow for one, and one alone."
Dude kinda looks like he's doing the make contact pose from Bloodborne. Probably just a coincidence. I think that this scene is likely depicting the PvP that is certainly a part of this game. Perhaps the mark on the character's hand is a less formed mark of the wheel brand that we saw at the beginning of the trailer. And from here we get the title drop, as well as the last scene of the trailer, which looks to be some kind of winged animal with symbols that look like the shards of the Elden Ring. And finally, we get the release date, or release year, of 2026. FromSoftware's next exclusive looks to be following in Night Rain's footsteps, focusing on more multiplayer-centric gameplay. According to press releases for the game, in the Duskbloods, you play as Bloodsworn, and vie against 8 players for supremacy among yourselves and challenging foes. Now personally, I want FromSoftware to return to making incredibly well-crafted single-player experiences that can be supplemented with co-op or PvP if you like. For me, it's not just about the incredible gameplay and combat that makes me love FromSoftware games. It's also the world building, interconnected level design, and piecing together all of the intricate lore. But this game is still a ways off, and after Night Rain drops, I think we'll have a better idea of what to expect from the Duskbloods. But I want to hear what your thoughts are. Let me know what I got wrong and what you think of FromSoftware's latest exclusive below. Thanks for watching, and I've got a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 video coming out shortly that I've had in the works. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure and like and subscribe. Take care now.